There are deadly strains of COVID now, the B.1.17 British variant now ripping through Michigan and a few other states as well, and preparing for others. However, there is some good news in the midst of all this bad news. Check it out, leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. I have, a family in Michigan. My three younger brothers all live there, and friends in Michigan. You know, I grew up in Michigan. I lived there until I was 27 years old. And in particular, a couple people that I went to college with, and later started a business with, actually, that I stay in contact with. One of them's now living down in Mexico. The rest of them are all living in Michigan. And everybody in Michigan that I'm corresponding with, I'm not making a universal statement. This is my own personal experience, is extremely freaked out right now about COVID. And this is what Rachel Walensky, I believe her name is, the head of the CDC, said yesterday in this just heartfelt, I'm throwing away my script. I'm going to speak from my heart. I'm going to tell you, I am very deeply concerned. And she said she's felt a sense of impending doom. And it's because what's happening in Europe right now, I mean, France is on the edge of a lockdown. Large parts of France are already locked down. The UK, it's kind of washed through the UK already. This is called the British variant. And it's so much more highly contagious than the normal COVID and slightly more deadly. And it does infect younger people, and it does kill younger people. Although, just like the old COVID, it most enthusiastically kills people over 60. But that British variant is now hitting the rest of Europe. And, it left Great Britain a couple of months ago, and just as Europe thought they had control of the coronavirus and started cautiously reopening, boom, it just like ran right into that thing, like, right into an oncoming snowplow or something. And now there's this problem there. Well, it's happening in the United States, and the state that seems to be the epicenter for the British variant. This, as I recall, is like B.1.17, isn't it? Yeah, B.1.1.7 is now burning through the state of Michigan and coming to a town near you. Right now, Michigan is ground zero, just like with the original virus from China, it was Washington State, and with the first iteration of the virus from China coming from Europe, it was New York City and New Jersey back a full year ago right now. That's what's happening in Michigan, only instead of the original wild COVID strain, it is now this COVID B.1.17 British variant, which is so much more contagious that in high-density housing settings, it's more likely to spread. If somebody lives in an apartment building that has a shared HVAC system, if you're in a school, it can move from room to room. If you're in a restaurant and there's not, really, really good ventilation and filters. I mean, this is why they're talking, and this is why the teachers' unions are saying that we need to upgrade the HVAC system within our schools to include things like they've got these ultraviolet lights. I actually bought one of these filters for our house back during the fires here in Oregon. Last summer where we were having, it was just horrible. You couldn't breathe. Indoors, you couldn't breathe because of the smoke. And the filter that I bought has a button you can push, and it turns on a UV light that kills viruses as they travel through it, as well as taking out all the particulate. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. As well as taking out all the particulate matter. Well, this is happening in Michigan right now, and it's just burning through the state. There's a 53% surge in Michigan hospitalizations. That's the bad news. And it's now starting to spread across the country. Best guess, given that Florida and Texas have both said, to hell with mask mandates, we're going to open the states. Florida was welcoming people down for spring break. Same thing was happening along the Gulf Coast in Texas. And now we're seeing a 12% rise nationwide. The 7-day average for new cases topped 63,000 for the first time in nearly a month. and Michigan, Vermont, and North Dakota are experiencing the biggest spikes right now. I predict we will be having this conversation in 3 weeks about Texas and Florida. Because in Michigan, they started to loosen up a little bit about 3-4 weeks ago, and boom, here it is. Right here in Oregon, we've really kept things under control. I mean, we had fewer than 250 new cases in the entire state yesterday, and no deaths. We've got a good Democratic governor, Kate Brown, who's doing a very, very good job of taking care of this. I'm just very impressed, and putting up with mind-boggling amounts of right-wing crankery. But there's one little kind of hidden piece of very, very good news in this terrible macroscope, the macrosphere, the larger sphere of bad news. The bad news being, as Dr. Walensky was saying, that we may be entering a whole new wave of deadly virus in the United States. The one little shining light in the midst of that is that, at least in the state of Michigan, where they, the research is in, they're seeing a 53% surge, but there hasn't been in the last month a single person in Michigan who has been hospitalized or died who had been vaccinated. Not one. And so as a result of this, they pretty much, Governor Whitmer, very, very good about making sure that everybody in all the old age homes, the nursing facilities, were vaccinated. And thus, this news report, COVID cases among residents in Michigan's skilled nursing facilities have dropped 96%.